So scheming Sturgeon proved once and for all today she doesn't care about what Scots want. She doesn't give a damn about turning around Scotland's failing health system or cutting her shameful record drug deaths. She doesn't stick to her word, given the on-the-record pledge that the 2014 independence referendum would be a once-in-a-generation vote. She also doesn't give two hoots about the law of the land. Nope, by announcing plans for an illegal second independence referendum for next October, almost certainly going to be ruled as unlawful by the Supreme Court, Sturgeon proved she only cares about one thing: maintaining the support of her craven SNP base. This is a delusional vanity project that is going to cost Scotland dearly, both financially and socially. It's a plan that she knows won't lead to a vote, but rather years of further division. But because she only cares about herself and her own career, she went ahead anyway. Look.
Now is the time for independence. Presiding Officer, this Parliament has a clear democratic mandate to offer Scotland that choice. The UK Government, regrettably, however, is refusing to respect Scottish democracy. That is why today's statement is necessary. The UK and Scottish governments should be sitting down together, responsibly agreeing a process, including a Section 30 order, that allows the Scottish people to decide. That would be the democratic way to proceed. It would be based on precedent, and it would put the legal basis of a referendum beyond any doubt.
The litany of lies there is just off the scale. Sturgeon doesn't have a democratic mandate for a second referendum. What total rubbish. During the last election, Sturgeon actively encouraged those who supported the Union to vote for her anyway, because she promised she was going to focus on COVID recovery. Even then, by the way, she didn't secure an SNP majority. She's had to be propped up by Green extremists. In fact, the polls show waning support for another divisive and costly referendum in Scotland. As a result, the Scottish Tory leader, Douglas Ross, was completely right today when he pledged his party will not take part in a pretend poll.
What concerns all of us is the price Scotland pays for her continued obsession with another referendum. So we won't play Nicola Sturgeon's games. We won't take part in a pretend poll when there is real work to be done. Real work on the global cost of living crisis. Real work to invest in public services. Real work to rebuild our economy.
It was shocking today watching just how stacked the Scottish media and political system is in Sturgeon's favour. Watch here as the presiding officer of the Scottish Parliament allows lengthy cheers for Sturgeon against her own rules, but steps in the moment there were any jeers.
What I will never do is allow Scottish democracy to be a prisoner of Boris Johnson or any Prime Minister. They won't restore freedom of movement for our young people. They won't prioritise tackling child poverty over investment in nuclear weapons. Presiding Officer,
First Minister, sorry, could I just have a moment? I have asked that there are no interruptions during the First Minister's statement. I would be grateful if we could have some silence. Thank you.
Unbelievable. And I purposely forced myself to watch the BBC Scotland coverage of Sturgeon's address today, which was positively North Korean in its lack of critical analysis. Just compare and contrast the coverage between the Beeb's Scottish political correspondent Lindsay Bewes with GBNews' own Scottish reporter David Donaldson.
One thing that we do know is that Nicola Sturgeon will also argue that she has a cast iron mandate for a referendum. She will point to that majority in Holyrood with the Greens, and she will say that the UK government is taking a wrecking ball to the partnership of nations that exists by denying that vote.
Nicola Sturgeon really grasping at straws, really, because there's still a lot of work to be done.
6 years on, this feels like a very significant moment in finding out just how Nicola Sturgeon intends to try to deliver that vote next year.
Despite Nicola Sturgeon saying she's going to press on regardless, it does seem rather desperate, it's looking into it, because there's still a lot of things to be resolved.
We're here, we're in June, COVID is no longer as pressing and as prevalent an issue as it had been. So now there is an expectation, I think, on Nicola Sturgeon to deliver that referendum next year.
Nicola Sturgeon said that she'd written to the Prime Minister of giving her intention, obviously, to have a second referendum, and that's what it is, an intention.
Yes, that's why you've got to keep watching GBNews, right? ITV News political editor Robert Peston immediately tried to frame the issue today as a Boris Johnson leadership question, when, of course, it's actually a constitutional question of legality. So, look, let's just be honest about this. The media is in the tank for Nicola Sturgeon. But the Scottish people are not stupid. They can see the amount of waste on what is a vanity project designed to appease her extreme SNP base is outrageous, especially in the middle of a cost of living crisis.